How to take a powder to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and our idiom today is take a powder. This is a relatively new idiom, not quite 100 years old. Comes from about the 1925 era in the United States, where people would actually say, dust out of here, meaning they were going to leave a place quickly, or take a runoff powder, meaning they were going to maybe go to the restroom, get a break, leave where they were currently in position, leave their situation, and get out of here, run out of here. Run out of a place to quickly sneak out or leave a place came to be known as take a powder. Now, when the idiom was first used, people said, let's dust out of here. And dust, probably from the dust of their heels running in a different direction. And that later became powder. Not this kind of yummy smelling Oscar de la Renta powder, but maybe from gunpowder or something. The accounts are a little bit unclear and fuzzy as to how the transition went from dust out of here to take a powder. But take a powder came to mean, I'm going to haul out of here. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to leave this situation, this, whatever the environment, in order to, I say, come back and fight another day, or come back and show up another day. Have you ever been to or been in an environment where you didn't feel comfortable, where it just didn't feel right? Have you gone to a party maybe, or to a gathering or an event back before COVID, where you just felt like something was off and you just didn't feel right being there, and you just you look around, or like maybe your ex is there or something, and you're like, all right, this isn't the situation I want to find myself in at this current moment. I'm gonna retreat to the ladies' room, or retreat out of the party, or go somewhere else, or just go outside and get some fresh air. Those are all little short-term examples of taking a powder. Of course, there's bigger examples of taking a powder. You might choose to leave the situation entirely. I've been in jobs in corporate America where I found out that the goals of the organization and the values and the beliefs and the business practices that they adhered to didn't match my belief about how business should be run and could be run in an ethical and honorable manner. And so I found myself choosing to leave that particular organization, because there was a mismatch in what I thought was right and how a business should be run, and how the leadership of that organization chose to run that business. I had a business partner, and I thought it was a great match made in heaven type business situation. Turns out they had absolutely positively different ideas and thoughts about how and what was okay or was okay in terms of ethics, morals, and values, than I did. And I ended up having to sever that relationship. Happened in my marriage too, right? Turns out that sometimes some of the people closest to us, we want to take a powder from, because we find out that, again, there's a mismatch in something that's actually a non-negotiable for us. And it's different for each of us, right? We get to decide what is important to us, and then we align ourselves with people and places and situations and environments that match that feel good for us. It might refer to our habits or the people we hang around with. Anybody ever had a bad habit? I know I have. We all have habits sometimes where we get practices and processes that we need to take a break from. We need to take a powder from. I needed to take a break from diet pop. Oh my gosh, back in the day, I drank coffee and diet pop like they were my sustenance. They kept my blood going. They kept me and my energy up, and I consumed a ton of it. And it was over the top to the point where it was really, really bad for me, because I was consuming that instead of eating right, instead of taking care of myself, instead of ever exercising or doing anything. I was getting that artificial energy. I am so grateful, honestly, that I gave up that pop habit prior to the energy drink craze that we're all living in now, because I guarantee I would have been addicted to energy drinks. And whenever we take anything over the top to the extreme, sometimes we need a break from it. Sometimes we need to take a powder. So I took a powder from drinking and consuming diet beverages, diet pop, and things like that. So I'd love to know what experience you've had with this particular idiom. Have you ever said, hey, I need to take a break, or I need to take a powder, or I need to sneak out of here, or I need to haul ass out of this situation because I'm not going to respond in the way I want to, so might lose this battle or lose this experience, but I'm not gonna lose the whole war because of one situation that I don't feel like I should be involved in. I like to say, we live to fight another day, right? Sometimes we need to take a break from that. I've been involved in projects both in corporate America and on my own and in my own businesses where sometimes we're going at it and we're going at it and we're trying to hammer it out and force it to work. And we realize that we're just hitting stone wall after stone wall and that we just need to take a powder, take a break from it, step back, regroup, relook at it, and then come back at the project. And whenever we've done that, whenever we've taken a deep breath and said, all right, we need to take a powder, we need to stop, we need to retreat a little bit, and we need to get out of here and then come back with fresh eyes. You know, it's kind of like the sleeping on things. Sometimes you got a problem or a challenge and you're not sure how to deal with it and you just sleep on it. You ask yourself the question before you go to bed, you sleep on it, and all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and the perfect solution is right there in front of you, and you wonder how come it took you so long to figure it out or see it. I've had that happen so many times. So how can you take a powder for your business? How do you use taking a powder, taking a break, not sneaking out, but running out on something or stopping doing something in order to come back and regroup with fresh eyes? I like to set time limits to things, and it seems weird, but like meetings and things, if we're discussing a challenging topic or trying to solve a problem, we'll set a certain amount of time to devote to, number one, defining the problem and talking about the problem. That's usually the shortest part of the conversation is, hey, what's the problem? But we always get down to the root cause. Then we brainstorm solutions, and we usually, after the brainstorming part, we'll all take a powder, separate, and let all of the brainstorming and all the ideas and all of the possible solutions ruminate for a while before we'll come back and start looking at and analyzing, saying, okay, well, we've got all these ideas. Let's talk about the pros and cons of each one. What is actually possible to create the outcomes that we want? So I'd be curious. And then we, of course, follow through, and we pick it, take actions, put in goals and objectives, and follow through, and then make sure that the projects are tracking and going in the direction we want them to go. So how do you take a powder in your organization? How do you have built-in retreats or built-in structures or things that allow you and the people that are part of your team to step back and say, okay, wait a minute, I'm way too invested in this, or I'm way too caught up in emotionally or for whatever other reasons with this particular project idea or thought. Maybe I just need to, recuse myself, step back for a few minutes and take a deep breath and then come back at it again. Sometimes we stay in situations too long because it's the whole devil we know versus the uncertainty of a certain situation. But that's inherent in having our own business, right? Life is never certain. What's going to happen? We never really have 100% certainty in what's going to happen. So a lot of times we just need to take that leap of faith and move in the direction that we know we want to go. Share in the comments below your experiences with taking a powder, or being in an environment where you needed someone to take a powder and you had to force them to take a powder. And I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business right now? Take care. Bye. I'm going to go take a powder. Bye.